So we are here in Istanbul at the end of the third edition of the International Insurance Forum. This edition was dedicated to motor insurance. Can you please give us a few details about the insurance market in Slovenia, please?
Slovenia is a country of 2 million people, and the overall volume of premium of all companies in Slovenia is about 2 billion euros, which puts it somewhere in the middle of the EU. 30% of the premium goes to MTPL. The rest of it is split between casualty and property. And life insurance, there has been a slight upward trend in life insurance. But overall, the premium has been fairly stable over the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. And how many companies?
There are 17 companies altogether. 90% of the Slovenian insurance industry is owned by Slovenian either physical persons or Slovenian funds. There are a few foreign players, most notably Generali, and a few Austrian companies. They have all started greenfield operations in Slovenia. And they are slowly notching up in premium, but the biggest one, Generali, is still at 56 million euros of premium per year. So it's going slowly.
Yeah. But what can you tell us about the main challenges that the insurance market is facing these days? Was the Slovenian insurance market affected by the crisis?
Yeah, it seems to be affected by the crisis to some extent. There has been no notable decrease in the premium volume. The problems that the Slovenian industry is facing, it has been expanding into former Yugoslav republics rather rapidly over the last few years, which caused some trouble. And many of the companies in the former republics had to be recapitalized several times, which puts a drain on the capacity of Slovenian companies. Then there are the problems having to do with corporate governance. For example, one of the problems that our biggest company has, it owns a bank that's in trouble.
Oh, okay.
And that again is a problem to deal with, and it's a big one, and it's not an easy one. So the crisis is slowly creeping into the insurance sector, which wasn't affected so much by the crisis so far, but it comes through the back door, through banking, where the crisis is much more severe than in the insurance sector.
More acute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but coming back to motor insurance, which is the main topic of this conference, what can you tell us about the main problems facing by this sector? We know that in the region, motor insurance is bringing lots of problems to the insurance.
One doesn't hear so much about problems in motor insurance in Slovenia. Here is one piece of data. Slovenia has the lowest percentage of uninsured vehicles in the EU. It's below 0.5%. And even that is covered by a fund that's run by the Slovenian Insurance Association. There's no problem there. And companies do complain about price pressures. But on the whole, the MTPL business is still profitable. It's not lucrative, but it's profitable. There are some losses when you look at comprehensive insurance or hull insurance, but so far there have been no serious problems. I cannot give you a precise figure on fraud, but it doesn't seem to be rampant. One does hear about fraudulent cases. There is an establishment of an insurance mediation center with the Slovenian Insurance Association, and there is an insurance ombudsman. But if you look at the figures, there's hardly been any numbers. Like they deal with 12, 20 complaints a year, and court cases are rare. So on the whole, the MTPL business is running smoothly. It's not as profitable as it used to be, but it's not a serious problem.
Oh, that's very good for your country, despite all the problems in the region. What can you tell us about the bodily injury claims?
The way it works in Slovenia is similar to the way it works in Turkey. You have a certain part of the premium that goes into the public health system. If you're injured in an accident, then the medical expenses not covered by the insurance company. They're covered by the public health service. It's only that disability is then covered by the insurance companies. There's some pressure from the Ministry of Health to increase the percentage, but the Insurance Association has a certain set of statistics that show that 6% is sufficient to cover the medical expenses arising from traffic accidents and injuries related to traffic accidents.
But the claims paid by the companies on moral damages or bodily injury are higher these days than they used to be?
I don't think so. We are in conformity with the limits that are in force in the European Union. One doesn't hear much about really excessive damages or court cases. One reason is because the bodily injury is covered by the public health system, so there's nothing to sue there. And some high damages were awarded in a few cases of permanent disability. Some of them rather high, but it's rare.
Okay. What can you tell us about the fraud? Is this a problem in Slovenia or it's at a low level?
A flood?
Fraud.
No, I believe no country is free of fraud. We've had cases of fraudulent behavior, but as I said before, it's not rampant. I can't give you an estimate that in terms of percentage of the premium that's due to fraud. But if I were to make a sort of rough estimate, I think it's a couple of percent at most. Most companies have established their own networks of claims adjustment. So if you have an accident, you can't just go to any claim adjuster, but you have to go to the claim adjuster that's run by the company. And those claim adjustments are done by the employees of the company, which makes the estimates more realistic. And mostly the estimates are about right. I had personal experience. I wasn't terribly happy with the estimates, but if I'm honest, they were correct.
Okay, so my final question refers to the conclusion of this event. What can you tell us, what did you learn, let's say?
I learned about problems that several countries are facing in MTPL, which is important for Slovenia because Slovenian companies are active in most of these markets. In particularly, if you look at Montenegro, for example, 2/3 of the market in Montenegro is covered by Slovenian companies. It's a bit worrisome to hear about the development of bodily injury in these countries. I've heard about it as a regulator from our companies. They were complaining that courts in Montenegro would regularly award high damages to claims arising from policies that come from foreign-owned companies, which is not such an encouraging development, I think. I have learned something about legal questions that have to do with settlement of motor insurance claims across borders. I have seen the situation in Turkey. I have been advising to some extent the Turkish Treasury. So that was interesting to hear again some of the Turkish presentations. I have learned a lot of things.
Thank you very much, and we are waiting to the next event.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.